go on. Tell all of your best friends to meet me at the creek. Bring all the girls with the cowboy boots and the skirts as high as me. Tell them meet me when that sun goes down. Be dancing with the devil, won't you take my crown? Baby, black and white, but I'm feeling blue, and I don't know what to do when the devil comes round. When the devil comes round. Tell all of the sinners to do the devil's deeds. I've been down all night long and I'll follow your lead. And I got all your best friends swimming in the creek. And all of the girls with the cowboy boots are right here next to me. Saying, meet me when the sun goes down. Be dancing with the devil, won't you take my crown? Baby, black and white, but I'm feeling blue, and I don't know what to do when the devil comes round. When the devil comes round. When the devil comes saying, meet me when that sun goes down. Be dancing with the devil, won't you take my crown? Baby, black and white, but I'm feeling blue, and I don't know what to do when the devil comes round. When the devil comes round.
Well, welcome everybody. We are here with Dulaney and Co. and Trent from 10,000 Songs for Good. I am Jim Jones from Music for the Revolution, and we are going to have a little interview with Dulaney and Company, who have been the first band that has performed for 10,000 Songs for Good, and man, loved it. It came out great. I'm so excited that you guys were the first ones to do that with us. Tell us a little bit about the band, and then let's talk about some of the songs you performed.
The band started out with just me and a couple songs, and then I met on a recording session with my friend's band called Universal Trap. They were recording out in Joshua Tree, and they called me out to do a little guitar solo on one song. So I went out there, and then I had already known Tim, the bass player, and that's when I met Kyle Torme, the piano player, keyboard player.
Little side note, I was in second grade with Kyle. Kind of weird.
Yeah, that came
Small
to,
world.
Yeah, that came
to light.
To light. So I met him, and we just started talking and started I asked him if he wanted to start jamming with me. So then he just started learning the songs, and it was just me and him, just guitar and piano. We just would play, and we did like maybe one or two shows, and then Tim came and started playing bass with us, and then we had a guy playing percussion, just like congas and bongos and stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of all acoustic, real stripped down. And then we brought in my friend Jeff Gaylor on drums, and then he started playing drums, and then it was more of a full band, more of an electric thing. Still kind of Americana, soulful, bluesy type stuff, a little bit psychedelic. And then I met Melissa
At this concert,
at this
actually.
concert right here, Bob
nice.
Dylan, at the Sports Arena in San Diego.
Nice.
And
Through Jeff.
through Jeff, the drummer at the
Jeff
time,
and I
my
had a
friend
mutual
Jeff.
friend.
So we'd worked for the sports arena doing graphics, and we scored like 12 tickets to Bob Dylan, and we were trying to give them away, and we couldn't find people. If crazy enough, it was Bob Dylan, man, and I couldn't get anybody to come.
Wow.
So she ended up coming, and then we met, and then just kind of like stayed in touch a little bit afterwards, and just became friends, and then various things happened, and
In our personal lives. When I met him, he was going through his first divorce, and then I had wild hair up my butt and thought, oh, I'll just go to Vegas and marry this guy I don't even know. And I did. And he's over there, him and Jeff are over there like, this chick is crazy. She's lost her mind. But I was kind of in this like, you think you know someone and they could be completely different. After going through pregnancy with Ava alone and everything, I just was like, it'll either work or it won't. And it didn't naturally. So then I was going through divorce, and we were kind of each other's buddies through that, and we decided to start writing music, and Back Where I Started came, and the rest is kind of, we just kind of kept doing that.
Yeah, we just kept going. We
writing.
just kept writing songs together, and just...
And I actually started opening for Dulaney and Company. A couple months of me opening for them. He wanted to bring me in the band, and the guys weren't so excited about having a girlfriend in the band and me having a very strong personality. They kind of didn't know how that was going to work. So it didn't work. We all kind of went our separate ways for a little bit, which
a couple years.
In hindsight was actually a really good thing for he and I, because we were romantically involved. We had kids that we were raising. We had other personal drama that we were dealing with, and it kind of gave us the time to work through all of that and write more music. And then the guys just recently came back within the last like five months, 4 months.
Yeah.
So at the performance then, we had, just tell us the names of each of the people, because you had a different drummer than you mentioned.
Yeah, so Jeff, the original drummer that I used to play with, moved to Nashville. So he lives out there now. So during the time that Tim and Kyle, so Tim Rather, the bass player, and then Kyle Torme is the keyboard player. So during the time that they weren't playing with us, they were in another band with Jay Kurzberg, which is the drummer.
So that explains how you two came. How did you meet those two?
Well, I guess it all goes back to Fallbrook Brewing Company.
I think
it
so.
would have to be, yeah.
Yeah, we played at Fallbrook Brewing Company a few times, and I think the first time we met him was at Fallbrook Brewing. I don't know if it was through Kenneth or if it was just on a regular night.
I don't know. But
I know you invited us to Drinking with Jesus. I remember that.
Yeah. So we had that regular event that we were doing, and you guys, I think you might have been the band that played most frequently at it.
I think we were were we the first band?
No, it was Nathan and Jesse, the first band.
I know we were because I remember when you first started doing the event, it was like, hey, you guys can do it as much as you want. And we're like, yeah, we'll do it every week, and then it was like, I got an opening in October, and I'm like, dude, it's June.
It kind of got
And
fast.
that was impressive with you, because you had that lined up for months out, and you were doing it every Monday.
Yeah.
And it was nonstop.
And it was a really cool concept. It was
great.
It wasn't church. It was having a beer, having a glass of wine, and talking about religion in general, Jesus of the Bible, but Jesus is historically, hermeneutics, it was fascinating.
Covering everything, huh?
Anthropology. I mean, there was just so much. It was very good. It was something that I think really helped bring people's perspectives together. And today we don't have a whole lot of that. I think music is one of those things that naturally does that. So.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And
but there's, from what you put together, I mean, it's funny because all of us musicians that played at those events, most of us are involved in the Music for the Revolution.
I like live jams.
Yeah.
I want to hear live performances. If you can't perform live, maybe you're not ready to be a real band.
I think for me, the true test is if you see an artist live and you go, damn, their records do them no justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like what you're talking about, that's when the magic happens,
Yeah.
Like all the
It's
bands
spontaneous. You never know what's going to happen.
all the
and you just
bands
gonna
like
capture
we
it.
love and look up to, or or at least I know you and I probably do, and I'm sure Jim, and now I'm turning her on to a lot of them too, but that's what they did, they got together in a room and they played them live, and then it was like, wow, let's just keep that, and then it's like 40 something years later and everybody's still listening to them going,
it's a
wow, this is
magical
some of the
moment,
best music ever, and it's like, oh, we did, that was one take. We weren't even planning on keeping it, but it sounded so good we just decided to, you know?
Yeah. So, our live performance that you guys just did, we had 3 songs that you performed. Why don't you tell us about the songs and maybe how they came about? How'd you write them?
So the first one we did, if I'm remembering the order correctly, was When the Devil Comes Around.
Yes.
That one came about, I had the guitar riff. I thought it was cool. And then I had written like one verse, maybe one verse. And then I think part of a chorus maybe or something. And I've honestly, at first I wasn't really feeling it. You know, I was like, I don't know, this might. But then I showed it to her and I showed it to another friend of mine who's a really gifted songwriter. And they were both like, oh, that's awesome, I like it, you know? So I was like, okay, so then.
Well, I liked it because it was outside of his normal box. Sat down and I made him finish it, which is often the case. Jared's brilliant at writing guitar parts and he's brilliant at writing lyrics, but usually he'll get so far and then he just throws in the towel.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I will sit down and not do anything else until that song is finished.
Yeah.
So this one I just knew we had to finish it, and we did. And
so we brought it to the band and then they just made it 10 times cooler.
I was going to say, I, as you know, had the great pleasure of sitting and playing with you guys on occasion.
Yeah?
And I remember the first time you played that song.
I think it was at Fallbrook Brewery too.
It was. And it was before you had Tim and Kyle back in the band. And I was like, oh, that is a good song.
No, this place doesn't exist anymore.
no, and you know what sucks is that was our first performance
It's
together.
like the Electric Banana.
Yeah, it was one of those places that had special.
And then he proposed to me there.
And I actually filmed that for you guys.
Yeah, he did.
He got that on film. Yeah, I mean, it's
I saw the proposal. I had that played back to me from Jim, so.
it was cute.
Yeah.
Dear mama, can you hear me? I've been trying to reach you all day long. My sister run away, she caught up with them boys, they'll do her wrong. I need someone to talk some sense into her, tell her to come home. Well, maybe I've been wrong all along. Started out as animals, then we learned to use our tongues. Now we speak in ignorance. Kneel down by your silk-dressed bed. Said, make me red, or bring me dead.
And the second song we played was Maybe I'm Wrong, and that one is probably about 5 years old, that I used to play with the guys before she was even in the band. And then
Actually, it's the first song I ever sang backup for them on before I was in the band. They said, "You want to come and play the NAMM show with us and sing backup?" And I was so unsure of my harmonies at that performance, but we worked it out. It's grown a lot since if you listen to recordings of it 5 years ago and
it's got a really cool Latin kind of feel to it, which is weird, like not weird but cool,
unintentional.
So Jared, Animals, love the lyrics to that. Well, I have to say, because I've been editing the video, and so I've been hearing your song over and over and over.
You're not tired of it yet?
Never got tired of it. It's awesome. It's like one of my new favorite songs.
Cool.
So, what was the inspiration here?
This is not my strong suit. So a lot of times when I write songs, that the lyrics just fall out. So I know they're coming from somewhere, but I'm not consciously thinking about where they're coming from. They just kind of happen. So then a lot of times I have to read back through them almost as a listener and be like, what do I think this song is about? You know,
really?
Because when I'm writing it, and everybody writes songs differently, but when I write songs, usually I'll just be playing guitar and something will sound cool to me, and then a melody will just hit me, and then I'll just start singing. And whatever comes out is usually what stays. So it's almost like an improvised singing, but then I just write it down and I keep it forever. And then I'll just, it's not like I'm reading what I wrote before and going, okay, what could I say next? It just keeps flowing out. So I don't know if it's, a gift from somewhere or what, but it just comes in. I know that's not just me, that's other songwriters too.
Oh yeah.
You don't really know where it's coming from. It's just flowing out of you somehow. It's almost like you're just like a vessel for a message that needs to get put out somehow,
And I used to be exclusively like that too. But I think I got to a point, and this is one of the things that were different, but it's good because where I'm weak, he's strong, and vice versa as a songwriting duo. I actually have the same experience where I'm playing something, and I'll usually do it the opposite because I'm a vocalist first. So I will have these lyrics and melody, and I'll start singing, and then I'll sit down with the dulcimer guitar, and I'll figure out what the bass notes are or whatever notes need to go there. And then I'll show it to him, and then he'll take it and make it into a beautiful song. But I actually sit down with the words and go, okay, well, what could I change and what could I make this? And I kind of can construct a song. And so I could sit down and you could give me a topic and I could write a song about it.
I'm horrible at that.
But
I can't do that.
But I'm also a writer, like a creative writer, and I love poetry and stuff. So that I think that's where we differ. But it works out well because he'll come to me with half a song, and I've always been really weird about like interpreting dreams and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, it means this, and he's like, well, how the hell do you know that?
Basically, it was kind of, it's an older song. So this was like before Obama. It was the Bush era for sure. Huh. So, and I think like there was just a lot going on, and I think like people were dying, and I was like, I worked for a company that did a lot of work on the Marine Corps base, and like I would show up there to work, and there would be people walking around with no limbs, and they're like 19 years old. Yeah. And it was kind of like I think thinking back when the words were coming out, I think in my mind I was thinking, how did we go from being such simple human beings to now fast forward however many years, depending on what you believe in. How have we transformed into where we're at now? Yeah. Where, people will just kill other people for the most insane, ridiculous reasons. Or, so that's kind of what I think was what I was thinking when I wrote it. And I don't know for sure because, like I said, it just was flowing out of me. But looking back at it and, after I wrote it, I was reflecting on what I wrote. And I was like, yeah, I think that's what I was thinking at the time. It was like, just the human race in general has come a long way, not all for good, all the time, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what I was thinking when I wrote it. And then thinking that, if everybody just came together and got along, which is in the last verse, if we could change if we come together and make the change, so.
Yeah, it's definitely what I was getting out of it too,
Cool.
and it's just with the combination of the words and the music, everything just fits. I mean, it
Okay. I got a question. What motivates you to keep playing? What would you like to see change? What would you like to accomplish? And
It's a
Well,
brilliant question.
that is a great question.
good. I'm glad I got one good one.
What motivates me personally to keep playing is just it's if you're a musician, then you probably understand this, but you have to play. You know what I mean? You don't really play because it's fun, or it is fun, don't get me wrong, but if you don't play, then there's something you don't feel right inside. So I've gone periods of my life where I didn't play and it didn't work out well for me.
Yeah.
So the music motivates me to keep playing and playing with people that I love. I mean, I get to play and write with my wife, and then the guys that are in the band with us are some of the nicest guys, and they're super talented, and I mean, I just couldn't ask for a better situation. So, the music and the people that I get to play with is what motivates me to keep playing.
There you go.
And then you just hope that people like it.
that's awesome.
That's a bonus.
Yeah, that's just an added bonus.
Yeah.
But if everybody hated it, I'd still do it anyway, because I have to.
Yeah.
So. And that's for me.
I think for me it's a little different. I'm emotionally unstable. So, if I don't write in a journal or play, I'm not fun for anyone to be around, because anyone that knows me knows this about me. I talk way too much about my own personal stuff. I'm like an open book, and people either love or hate that. For me, being an open book in music is a good thing. People hear a song and they go, well, wow, she really put herself out there. It really is like the pages of my diary.
I just, on that note, the most amazing thing that just happens from you is I'll just be on Facebook and all of a sudden here's a live broadcast from Melissa at like 2 a.m. Woke up, it's like just rolled out of bed. You're like, I gotta put this down. I gotta write this song and I'm gonna broadcast it to everybody.
Yeah, we're at the office and he's all, check this out. She just woke up. Don't you wish you could sing like that? I'm like,
I think he's right. We have to play. It's who we are. This is gonna sound weird, but like I kind of equate music to God. For me, like people talk about God, they talk about church, they talk about whatever religion. To me, that's been my constant. I think that the things trials and tribulations I've gone to have always brought me back to music. So I love performing, but I think Jared will be really honest about this. If I asked him, I turn into a nightmare before any gig. I'm not a nice person.
I can vouch for that.
And I don't know.
Like, do you
I
always
really
want
don't
to start an argument on the way to a gig?
Yeah, it's like I almost need the instability or something to get in touch with my emotions to get out there and do it. Because people don't realize, like, I'm not good at performing. I'm really not. I'm so insecure up there. People have no idea. I mean, most of the time, the best times you'll ever see me is probably when my eyes are closed and I'm just forgetting that you're all there and just singing,
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to your question of why you play, and then, there's really no way to describe the feeling of like 5 or 6 people getting on stage together and just creating something.
And being in harmony,
But also seeing
in
people,
sync and being one with each other on stage.
yeah.
but also seeing people out there being part of it too, because that's one of the reasons we don't want to be a bar gig. It's like, you don't want to be background music. We want a listening crowd. We want people to be engaged. We want people to be involved. And when you're up there in harmony with your band members and you're just on the next level and you look out and those people out there on that level with you, you did something right.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
we did something right here.
Yeah,
and I
we're
don't
connected.
think anyone in that room is thinking about anything else than what's going on in that room right then and there.
Thinking about why we're doing music for the revolution. right, is exactly this idea that music has the ability to bring people together from all different backgrounds, right? And we've got a lot of craziness happening in our world right now, a lot of conflict, a lot of just failure to communicate at just a basic human level. And my hope was that through music, we could get people to come together and introduce them to some of the things that are going on in our world and who's working to make changes.
Our elected officials are neither here nor there. We all live on the same damn earth. We're all breathing the same damn air. Let's all come together and let's all be here for the same damn reason, which is to help each other, to love each other, to bring each other closer. That's I think that's what music is, you know?
We're all in it together. Yeah.
You know?
And you guys have been a huge support to me with these crazy ideas, trying to get stuff off the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And
Love your crazy ideas.
We're just as crazy, you know? Right there with
right, you know, it's like we're somehow, you know, connected, related in some magical way. And, you know, I just love you guys and all the stuff we've been doing. And, I mean, you paid at my 50th birthday party. How awesome was that?
That was fun.
But this kind of stuff, this is what we all need to do. Let's like stop talking politics. Stop talking, you know, not that those things don't matter, they do, but we, the people, are the beating heart of this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can all come together and change what's wrong, then that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter who's elected. There's more of us than there are of them.
Good place to end it. Thank you again, guys. This has
Thank
been
you
awesome.
guys.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us to your home.
Of course.
And,
Time.